All right, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host, Chuck Stevenson. And today I'm joined by a special guest, Combate Global's #1 flyweight, Maritza Sanchez. How you doing today, Maritza?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Well, it's good to have you here. So you are fresh off a first-round TKO win over Dee Begley back on November 18th. Your first win via strikes. How does that feel?
Oh, it feels great. It's I was trying to process it for so long right after the fight. Feels amazing. It just goes to show my hard work is really put out there, and I was able to showcase my skills that night.
Yeah, so I noticed there was the left, I guess it was a hook to the liver right after you blocked her high kick that started the fight-ending sequence. Is that something you worked on a lot in training? You seem to really hone in on that opening.
Yeah, that's something that one of me and my boxing coach Abraham, we like to work on that. It's one of my favorite punches that I like to throw. So just I guess it kind of just came naturally. One of those things where you just drill it so much that it just happens to come in naturally, and I was able to put that, I guess, part of the play into finishing the fight.
Notice you also like to mix up the strike. You were mixing the strikes really well to both the head and the body. Like you would go to the body to open up the head, and then as soon as you started blocking the head more, you'd go back to the body. Is that something you practice a lot?
Yeah, something that I like to teach as well, because I also coach as well. It's the body's open when you go upstairs, but especially if they bring their hands up, body's going to be open always. So something that I do practice a lot.
Okay. I noticed that actually both of you utilized the side kick a lot, and at one point you used it to hurt her again. I think it was the second time you really had her rocked was off of a side kick straight to the stomach. Now, is that something new for you? Because I don't recall seeing you throwing it too much in previous fights.
It's just one of those things that I haven't really used in a fight, but I do practice that as well. I try to mix it up a lot when I'm training. So I guess you just never know. That's the way to go, right?
Sure. So about your training now, do you train specifically for your opponents, or do you train more to fight your own fight and implement your plan going in?
I like to focus on what I do, and I try not to worry about too much of what my opponent's gonna do. I just like to take a quick glance at what their style is kind of like, and then based off that, get a little visualization, and then just worry about what I'm gonna do throughout my camp.
Okay. Now, all of your fights so far have been with Combate Global, or all of your pro fights. How do you like fighting for them, and how do you like working with them?
Oh, I love working with them. They're honestly such an amazing promotion, and I couldn't be more grateful to be with them. They treat you so well, and honestly, I'm very grateful for the whole team.
Okay. Let's see. So, taking it back to the beginning, how did you, or when did you get started in martial arts? Like, how old were you when you first found martial arts?
I started training when I was 15, about to be 16, I believe. So it's been a few years now. I'm about to be 25 next month. So
Oh, you're ancient.
what's that?
I said you're ancient.
Yeah.
No.
So I've been training for a couple years. I mean, I didn't take it as serious as now. Obviously, I would just kind of just train whenever I wanted to. It was just kind of I kind of just did it just for exercise and for fun. But yeah, especially after my first amateur fights, I actually lost a couple, and I was like, okay, I really got to do something about this. Like, I'm gonna really, take my training more serious a bit. And I think right after a few amateur fights is when I was like, okay, I really got into it and wanted to make it my career. So I ended up quitting my job and stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay. So did you start training like traditional martial arts, or did you just like find an MMA gym and start training the mixed like right away?
So when I first started training, I mainly kind of just liked the boxing. So I did that, I think, mainly for about a year. I did a little bit of kickboxing here and there, but I didn't start jujitsu until like maybe 2 years after I was introduced to boxing.
Okay. Now you had 11 amateur fights before turning pro, and you said you started training full time even during when you were amateur. Now, when you made the decision to go pro, like what was that process like? Was it a specific after a specific fight, or was it just something that you had planned, like we'll get X amount of fights in and then we'll go pro, or what was basically what was the process to decide to turn pro?
So I honestly would have liked to get some more amateur fights, to be honest with you, but I don't know. It was just one of those things where it was hard for me to get fights, especially as a woman in this type of sport. There wasn't very many, especially in the amateurs. So we were just kind of like, you know what? We kind of made the decision to just go pro, and we figured there'd be more opportunity to get some more fights.
Yeah, it seems like especially in the amateurs, it's harder for the ladies to find fights, and that's why you'll see a lot of ladies go pro with like well a lot less fights than what you had.
Yeah, yeah, and
And some
it's
of them don't
surprising,
even
right?
go right, and then
Yeah,
some of them just don't skip the amateurs. Like I remember there was a period, uh, like I remember I think it was Josh Barnett who just said, you know, ladies should just skip the amateurs, just turn pro. But I think it
yeah,
is
but
growing now. Like there, you see a lot more ladies amateur fights
yeah,
nowadays.
I think so too
Yeah.
now. I mean, the sport's growing, and you can see it, right? There's especially I feel like a lot more women are starting to join now that they see how it's been expanding with women being able to come in and also take over.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I started this channel. It's been
That's
coming up
awesome.
on 5 years now, so
That's great. That's great.
that's the goal is to help grow the sport and help grow the ladies divisions. Okay, so moving away from fighting for a second, let's talk about you. So, what makes Maritza Sanchez Maritza Sanchez? Like, what do you enjoy doing away from fighting?
I like to I have my little side hobby of uh this YouTube channel that I have. I've been doing it for a couple years now. Um, but I honestly just like doing it just for fun as well. So I do that off the side, and then I also like hiking. I like hiking. I like the outdoors and just spending time with family and friends and whatnot.
Okay, any like hobbies or just the YouTube and the hiking?
Yeah, just hiking. I'm not, I'm just casual, just hiking, vlogging, nothing crazy.
Okay. Uh, do you have a favorite cheat food? So it's your off day. You're going to cheat. What do you eat?
That is one of the hardest questions because I love food. But if I really had to pick, I think the first thing that I like like to eat after a fight is just a nice hamburger with some French fries.
Oh, that was going to be my next follow-up question was what's your favorite post-fight meal? So a big greasy burger and fries, huh?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Is there a favorite restaurant you like to go to for a burger?
No, just anywhere really. You can
Just
be any as long as it's a nice meal, I'll be happy with it.
stacked high and
Yes, absolutely.
nice. Like that. Mine would probably be pizza, but a burger sounds good too.
Yeah, but I'll take anything.
Yeah. Well, I saw you. Speaking of your YouTube channel earlier, I saw on your Fight Week vlog after your fight, you were eating pizza with D. Begley, which
Yeah,
I
well,
thought
like
that was kind of interesting.
right after the fight, when we were still in the cage, I was we were shaking hands with the coaches, and
Hmm.
and I said, "Hey, let's go get some drinks after." And they're like, "Yeah, they're super cool." So we actually ran into them at the hotel that we both were staying at, and we were just hanging out, chit chatting. Her and her corner, my corner. We were just hanging out and having a good time, eating. and she's super cool, super cool.
Okay. Because I know, like, for most fighters, like, it's a job. Like, they don't hold any grudges, but to actually
Yeah,
see someone like knock someone else out and then they're eating pizza afterwards is
yeah,
almost mind blowing.
that's how it should be, honestly. I mean, it's just business. We're just here for business, and I get that. I've never gotten to the point where I like, oh, I hate my opponent even afterwards, but um, I guess you just never know. But I mean, you should always be respectful and be able to, at least be able to say, hey, thank you, good job, and that's about it, right? There's not
Sure,
much more you could say after, but yeah.
sure. I mean, it's a sport.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
I know some people it's like everything to them, but I think at the end of the day, it is a sport. Like, it's not like a personal. You're both being paid.
Well, it could be personal, right?
True. I mean,
Some
there
of
are
the
definitely
spots,
fighters that
like,
hold grudges. There are grudge matches.
yeah.
Um, okay. So, do you have a dream place you would like to fight? Like, is there a certain country or city or even like an arena that you would love to fight above any others?
Um, let's see. Hmm. Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to say, but I know that hopefully we're going to start traveling soon. And they had mentioned Europe.
Ooh,
So maybe. I mean, I just want to be able to fight everywhere, But
sure.
that would be pretty cool. Europe sounds cool.
Anywhere outside of the TV studio, I think would be great.
Yeah, yeah,
Nothing against
definitely.
it, but it's like, come on, it's going to be 2023. Get out there,
I know.
get in front
It's
of an
like,
audience.
okay, COVID's gone. Like,
Hmm.
we need the audience back. And I mean, I honestly really like fighting without the audience. It's like it's definitely different. I just feel like I'm more zoned in for whatever reason. You don't get the jitters as much with everyone being around and
Right. You don't have
cheering
distracted.
or
There's not
booing.
noise.
Yeah,
You can hear your coaches.
exactly. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can hear every punch, every kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So besides location, dream opponent, is there anybody? And you could pick from like long retired. Just if you could fight anybody, who would you want to fight?
Anybody. But I would say possibly Amanda Nunez. I do plan on going up in weight, and that's just one of the cool thing that you could say, like, hey, I'd like to fight this person. I think she's a badass. But hey, you never know.
Right. Well, hey, if you're gonna go, aim high, right? I mean, she's one of the best ever.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
if you're gonna aim high, then aim for
Yeah, you have to.
Everest. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So, what are your long-term MMA goals?
Well, I would like to be world champ
Sure.
someday. Eventually, hopefully, get into the UFC after this contract that I have with Combate. But you never know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes afterwards.
Sure. And you're still young. You're only 25, so
I'm
you've
going to
got,
be 25. Yes.
or you're going to be 25. You've got a
Yes.
lot of time. I'm the old one here. Okay, so you're entering 2023 as number one in Combate's flyweight division. So if Combate were to offer you a title fight next year, who would you like to face off?
You know what? I think it would just make sense to fight the person that's right underneath me, which is Melissa Amaya. She's number 2. She's undefeated right now. I believe she's 5-0, and she deserves it. I deserve it. I think that's what's next, honestly.
Well, I'll be honest, that's the fight I'd like to see more than any other is you
Yeah,
versus Melissa. I think that'd be fireworks. You're both very good
I think so
strikers.
too.
You're both good on the ground. Uh, you only have one loss. She's undefeated. I think that's
Mhm.
the fight to make. Number one versus number two.
Yeah,
And I'm hoping Combate, gets it done.
yeah. Hey, I asked for it after my fight, so and she's undefeated, like I said. So I think it just makes sense to get that match up then. and right underneath the title.
Sure, I think she'd be down for it too, of course,
Oh,
especially
yeah,
if the title's on the
yeah,
line. It's more money.
yeah,
It's a
definitely.
shiny gold belt.
Yeah, who wouldn't want that, right?
Right. Who doesn't want shiny gold stuff? Okay, so that's really all the questions I have. So, do you have any social media you want to plug?
Well, I do have my YouTube channel if you guys would like to subscribe. It's just my name, Maritza Sanchez. I post a lot of vlogs, like what I do on the daily, or a couple videos here and there on some trips that I go on. So, yeah, if you'd like to check that out, you can check that out.
Sure. You also have I believe, a Twitter and an Instagram that I'll share down below
Yeah, I have an
in the
Instagram
description.
and Twitter as well.
But I definitely recommend to the viewers, go check out Maritza's YouTube and go check out the Fight Week vlog. It's 2 parts, and you'll actually see her in the room with her coach practicing that left hook that she landed. So to the
Yeah,
body, it was
yeah, it's
mwah.
all in there. I was able to catch that on there.
Yeah.
It was
And
very good.
any sponsors you want to shout out?
Yes, I made sure to make a list here so I don't forget any of them. But first, I'd like to thank my team, my coaches, Team Alpha Male, AB's Dragon House. He's my main boxing coach, Ibrahim, and then I also have Felipe Bragio, BJJ. He is my jiu-jitsu coach. And then as for my sponsors, I'd like to thank you. Thank
Sure.
you, WMMA Scene Now, for sponsoring me for my last fight. I greatly appreciate it. I also have Little by Little, it's a clothing line. Castillo's Legal Life Support, Royal Six Tattoo, Luis Romo Photography, Kill Aesthetics, and last but not least, Red Hawk Casino.
All right. So go check those sponsors out. Help those that help the fighters. And I was really happy to work with you, and glad I could help you out. First time sponsoring a fighter for me, so and of course you came through. I mean, wouldn't have mattered if you won. Well, yeah, of course it matters that you won. Right.
It does matter, but
Yeah, of course it
we
matters.
got the
But
W. So.
yeah, but yeah, it was great. I mean, I've been thinking about it for a long time, and then when you put it out there on your, I think it was Instagram that you were looking, I said, well, there's one. That's the one.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and
Cool.
I'm happy to be sponsored by you. So thank you, and you guys make sure to subscribe to the channel as well.
Yeah,
WMMA Scene Now.
that's right. The best, fastest growing women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. And thanks for tuning in. And
Yeah.
thank you, Maritza.
Thank you so
Mhm.
much. I
Sure.
appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yep. And we'll see you next time.